Hello everybody and welcome to this league wrap up. If you have not seen any of my videos before, you're not familiar with how this is, I'm going to go over the decks I'm going to be playing and then I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to play the first match of the league. Then after I'm done with that match, I'm going to use MTGO's replay feature to go over and record the replay of it while giving commentary, talking about some of the decisions I made, and then I'll stop recording and play the next and go through the entire league with cutting out all the waiting on opponents, waiting on games to start, opponents to make decisions, all those different things. So it makes it go a lot faster. It cuts out a lot of the dull parts. So I'm going to be playing Mono Blue Tron. This is a deck I've been playing for a while now with the new Modern. It's been really doing well for me. The main appeal for this version of Tron is getting to play Trinisphere. Trinisphere is really good in this current meta with so many Cascade decks and so many just low creature efficiency decks, playing a bunch of 0 and 1 drops in decks like Hammer Time, Regavan decks and all that. They just have really low curves. So Trinisphere bringing the curve up is really good in this meta. Also, being able to, when they're paying 3 mana to cast a spell, being able to pay 3 mana and remand it oftentimes means that they can't just replay it, especially if it's something that normally, like a Mishra's Bauble, that's free. If they pay 3 mana for through the Trinisphere, and then I pay 3 mana to remand it, they may not be able to recast it. And then being able to repeal something or Cyclone Rifts, all just things that with Trinisphere, it's really more impactful when you repeal their 1-drop, because now they can't just replay it for 1. It is a Karn deck, so it's got my entire sideboard except for 1 card is a Karn package. The main ones I got Ensnaring Bridge for stopping creatures from attacking, Torpor against elementals, against a few of the other humans, some different decks in the format. Wormcoil is a good solid lifelinking creature to get back some health. This is Blue Tron, so it does get to do Mind Saver plus Academy Runes, which is a lock to just be able to take your opponent's turn and never let them play Magic again. It gets to play Sundering Titan, which on top of Trinisphere can again prevent him from playing Magic. You cannot cast a spell if you can keep him under 2 lands or less. So Sundering Titan hitting a bunch of lands, and then Liquid Matter Coating keeping them down to 2 lands. It's not as good of a lock as Myxinatus because it's harder to do, but once you get it, it's actually locks them out of more things. They can't even do some of those new invoke creatures. They can't do as much stuff. So it's a good lock. And that's about it for the breakdown of the deck. It is running 2 Urgasa Sagas. It's too blue heavy to try to go 4 Urza Sagas, but 2's been working pretty well as far as drawing them, but not drawing too many of them where you don't get blue. Alright, and with that, I'll get to the first match. Alright, starting off this league, 0-0, first match of the league. We lose a die roll, so we are on the draw. Not the best hand, it's pretty close. It's got 2 pieces of Tron, it's got blue mana. It could potentially have a turn 3 Ugin if we get the 3rd Tron land. It's worth a try to keep. I mean, it's very land heavy. It does have the turn 2 talisman, so it's worth trying. We'll keep this. Also, we don't know what we're up against, and it's some kind of black-white. Alright, Transfer is not a bad draw, especially considering it's a black-white deck. Probably cheaper spells. Alright, so it's a Saga deck. And, yep, it's Reanimator. It's Unmarked Grave. They go put the Archon into the graveyard. Alright, so here's our turn 2 Talisman. Okay, so they have like the perfect hand of turn 2 Unmarked, turn 3 Persist, bringing back Archon. I mean, I guess the more perfect hand is that turn 1 Thoughtseize himself and then Persist back the Archon, but this is good too. So hand is already land heavy, so discard a land here. Really hope to, I mean, even this thing's 8 drop, so even Ugin isn't enough to kill it. So really, it's only one card we can really draw here. And we're lucky enough to get it, Cyclonic Rift. Now, not sure exactly the best time to use the Cyclonic Rift. Definitely before attackers, because I don't want him to get that attack trigger. He taps out here to do Saga. I figure now is a better time than ever. Just go ahead and bounce the Archon. I don't know what he would possibly get with the Saga. Maybe I let him get something, and then, because now he gets to make a decision on what to get based on the fact that I bounced his Archon, but he ends up getting a Hex Parasite. And we drew a second Transfer, not exactly a good draw. Trying to Thirst here, hoping to get that Tron lands, and then I can play this Transfer. I do not hit the Tron. I hit 2 more Mines, and another blue, so play the Island so I can have this Remand mana open. He does only have 3 mana, so this Remand should be pretty good at countering his 2 drops. Okay, now he has 4 lands, so if he plays a 2-drop, I can't stop it. It's not too scary to the current board state, but I kind of just want the card draw here. I want to try to find that Tron land so I can get this Ugin, so we're going to draw a card with the Remand. Slow down his tempo. Card draw was Thirst. Alright, but we did draw the map. Not quite the Tron land, but it gets the Tron land, so go ahead and save my blue open so I can use this Thirst. Go get the Tron lands. And now play out this Trinisphere and have mana left to Thirst. Tax in. He's still got enough mana. He can't double spell yet, but it looks like he's just gonna replay the Kaya. He's gonna exile 2 cards from the graveyard. Not really relevant. We don't really use the graveyard much. He doesn't even hit the artifacts, which is the only thing we really get back from the graveyard. Go and use this Thirst. A lot of lands. Just discard some of the redundant Tron pieces. Keeping always the tower, and there's another tower, so yeah, we have plenty of mana here. Go ahead and Ugin. Now most of these things are colorless, so minusing Ugin doesn't really do much here, so it's going to plus it up, kill the Hex. The Hex is going to be able to slowly kill the Ugin with its abilities, so here goes ahead and uses it. It removes 2 counters from Ugin. But we go and kill the Hex, so that won't be hitting the Ugin anymore. Alright, now here he has another Hex, but he had to pay 3 mana to do that. It is going to be a little annoying, but it doesn't quite kill us. I want to keep this Condescend up because he does have enough mana to play another spell, so I don't want him to be doing anything that actually kills me. So he moves the counters, pumps up the Hex Parasite, but it's summoning sick anyway, so it doesn't really help. And then attacks at Ugin, and exiles 2 more instants. I guess he thinks I'm playing Snapcaster because he's going after my instants. I hit another Tron land, so I have a lot of Tron now. I go and kill the Hex Parasite before he can minus on Ugin again. He can't attack and kill Ugin. He does have enough. He can ultimate Kaya, but I only have 4 cards in exile right now, so that's not lethal. And this construct's only a little 1/1, so it's not too scary either. Attacks it. And yeah, having this Ugin, just all this damage is going to him instead of me. Not a terrible thing. Now this still doesn't quite seem worth the counter, but I really want the Scry. I want to find something. I just have 2 lands in hand otherwise. So more so doing this to Scry, but also I don't want him to put more cards in graveyard. Right now he doesn't really have any good reanimator targets. So stopping him from getting some of those targets is good. Don't really want to map, so put that on bottom. Walking Bliss is really good right here. So yeah, he doesn't even exile, or he doesn't even use a -5, he just puts more cards in exile. And then a Priest. Again, he doesn't really have anything too great in the graveyard worth bringing back. And then I have so much mana, this Ballista, get to play it. For 9/9, I go and kill the Priest right away. I don't want, and just go and kill Kaya, because Kaya is going to minus and exile Ballista. If I don't see a reason to kill the construct, I just block anyway right now, so I can always do it when the time comes. He plays another Priest out, it's still fine. I can just easily kill it, or not worry about it because he doesn't have cards in graveyard. So play out this mine. I could try to get rid of blockers and just hack in, but I'd rather not waste my resources and just have him block. And then he actually doesn't block, so I pump up Ballista again, all the way to a 9/9 Ballista again. Puts him down to 10. Bolt from the Ugin, and finish him off with the Walking Ballista triggers. So, I mean, he could have blocked there, but yeah, it wasn't looking great because I still just wiped his board. Didn't have a whole lot of good reanimated targets anyway, so. Alright, actually managed that first game. Alright, we're on to game 2. So for sideboarding, I took out the repeal. There's not a whole lot of good repeal targets. The main things I want to hit are going to be way more mana than I'm going to spend on a repeal. I put in the Spatial Contortion, and then I also took out the Engineer Explosives. Not super great against a lot of things it's doing, and I put in the Pipe Needle as a artifact that I can search up with one of the 2 sagas. It's a card I'd rather just draw than to Karn for. A lot of times I might be Karning, or I might be trying to use it before in this match before I'd even get to cast Karn. So decided those 2 things in. Opening hands, again, not that great, but the opposite problem. We only got 2 lands. It does have a blue source and a Tron land, and it does have Remand and Condescend to try to get us the 3rd land to be able to cast this Thirst for Knowledge, and then it does have Spatial Contortion, which can hit some of the creatures, smaller creatures he has. Again, these decks normally also run Stoneforge package, so that's another reason for the the Spatial Contortion. So retry. We'll keep this, and we're on the draw, so that's good too. Alright, turn 1 Thoughtseize, and they go for the Contortion, so maybe they are on the Stoneforge here, just trying to get that removal. Either that, or they just saw that I have more counters than they can get rid of, so they took care of the removal. Okay, looks like they were just trying to protect their priests from Contortion. Another remand, still haven't hit our land yet. Hopefully we'll hit it off this remand or this condensate. And they play Saga. And they don't actually cast anything else, so we don't get to do either of those things, but we do naturally draw the land, which is good, because now we get to end their turn Thirst if they don't do anything else worth countering. Looks like they're just on the Beats plan. And then they think about casting something, but it looks like they're just going to go on the Saga, so they decide not to. And then end of turn, go ahead and Thirst for Knowledge. And no lands on those 3 cards, so go ahead and discard Condensend's not so good when a missing line drops, so just go ahead and discard both of those. I'm not going to be able to Condensend for enough to actually counter the spell, so just Talisman's still not a land. Play that. It might have been better to just not play it, hold it up, try to Thirst, and then have that to discard to Thirst. But I really don't want to take the chance of not hitting a land here, so I want to get the mana out there. And this does seem like a kind of weird Saga deck. These constructs are not very big. He gets a Hex Parasite, not really good against me right now. And then he Inquisitions, gets a Contortion. I could have Contortion there. I kind of just want to save this remand mana open, especially because he still has enough. He doesn't have any reanimated targets, but he does have a Priest, so I don't want him to get a reanimated target. So I want to save that remand mana open. And I have the life total right now to just take these attacks. It is starting to hurt though, so I do need to try to do something. And I draw a Tron land, just not the Tron land I need here. Playing it out, make this Talisman, but I just taps out to where I really don't want him to get that Archon and just make me sack the card. I want to have protection in the form of counters with his card. So another attack here for 5, which still means at this rate it's going to be another 2 more turns. Another Inquisition. I don't want to hit him to hit this Thirst. I really want to use it to try to find these lands. So, and I still get remand mana after this Thirst. Kind of make a little misplay here, and I discard the redundant 3 remands and the Karn. Really, I should have just discarded the Walking Ballista. He's going to hit the Walking Ballista over the other targets anyway, which he does. I pretty much just allowed him to take 3 cards. If I would have discarded the Walking Ballista, he would have probably taken one of the remands, and I just would have had an extra card in my hand. Same outcome, I just would have had an extra card. Instead, so slight misplay there. But I do draw the Tron land, which is great, because now I get to play out my Karn, and then I get something that's going to stop me from dying here, or something that stops Karn from dying, and I get to Walking Ballista. It's going to be able to block and kill. It can actually kill both the Hex Parasite and the Construct as a 2/2, and I still get Remand mana open. And he can't Hex Parasite it because of the Karn, which is helpful. But he can Prismatic Ending. Right now he doesn't have the white, so I'm going to go and remand it. I could get punished if he does try to get something. At least I have the 2 counters now where I can kill the priest in response to his spell, so I'm still in a safe position here. He does have the lands, and he doesn't go for the spell to put cards in graveyard, and he just recasts the Prismatic Ending, and go and just use these counters to kill the 2 creatures and protect the card. Alright, Karn does go down to 1, but now I got mana for playing Ugin and still having 2 open for the remand. Plus up Ugin to kill his priest. Karn plus up no targets, and then just pass to save up the remand mana. I could have tapped that differently and got the map out with still saving the remand mana open, but I'm don't really need map right now. Just let that happen. I want to save this remand. Don't really care about zombies right now anyway. I can easily just kill him with Ugin. Play up my lands. Kill the zombie with Ugin. Play out the map. And then again, plus up no targets. And then I kind of also messed up here. I don't know how much I could have done about it. I just sort of noticed it coming. Was now he gets an Unearthed Priest. I don't get a chance to remand or repeal that. And then he gets to bring back Archon. Again, I don't get a chance to remand. And then count up my mana here. I have enough. If I crack the map, I can get Academy runes, and I have enough to do the Mindsaver lock on him. So this Ugin at 11 is really tempting to be able to go minus and get 7 cards, but that 7 cards isn't a guarantee, where this Karn lock is a guarantee. So I sacrifice the Ugin for the Karn lock, and then I just discard this remand, and then I go and accidentally grab the wrong lands, which is terrible. If I would have got the runes there, I could have done the lock. I thought I already had the runes, so I grabbed more mana. And yeah, that was a pretty big punt. So I go and just repeal this Archon. I have the mana to do it, and I draw more land. So now I'm at 4 life, and gotta try to figure out how to come back from this. I'm going. He has 4 cards in hand. Maybe I can do something with Mindsaver. So go ahead and get the Mindsaver, play it, and use it on him. And then I put these in the wrong order. He actually, I should have scryed after I searched, but no, I scry 1, keep his snow-covered land on top, and then I shuffle and search. Definitely a mess up there as well. Just making mistake after mistake. He gets, or I go and get him Hex Parasite, because I can use that ability and make him pay life. Unfortunately, he's at an odd number, so I have to kill my own Karn to do this too. So attack Karn, kill it. That way I can make him use this Hex Parasite, pay 2 life, remove counters from things that don't have counters, doesn't even matter. Get him down to 1 life. and then because it's paying life, I can't actually get him down to negative life. So I gotta stop at 1. If he would have been at an odd number, would have been able to just kill him there. And doesn't really have anything helpful in his hands for me to do. So just tap him down to mana, and then pass it back to me. Trinisphere is not a great draw. I saw his hand. He doesn't have anything Trinisphere actually does anything against. Not anything relevant at least. And then just play out my lands and pass back to him. Right now he only has 3 power and I'm at 4 life. Puts me down to 1, so now we're both at 1 life. I need to draw something that's going to get me out of this. He's at 1 life. A Karn could get me the Walking Ballista from the sideboard. Oh wait, I already got the Walking Ballista from the sideboard, so I could draw the Walking Ballista from the deck. I could draw Teleia West to get the Walking Ballista from the deck. I can draw Ugin to deal 3 damage. He does play out Kataki War's Wage. I tap 1 land, keep both my artifacts. I have enough mana, so it's a Thirst. It's a pretty good chance of now I can use Thirst to draw into one of those cards I was talking about that I need. And there's the Ugin, exactly what I needed. A lot of punts, almost through that game, but still managed to pull through in round 1, 2-0. Alright, so currently 1-0 in this league. On to match 2, we won the die roll, so we get to be able to play. Alright, Loris is their companion. This is just not a great hand. Does have Tron on turn maybe 3 if we get lucky. 4 if we get kind of lucky, and 5 if nothing else happens. This will get turn 5 Tron. This West come and play tap definitely slows it down, but it's got a spatial contortion and consent to try to, get us there. So not great, but we'll try it. Start with the mine and the map, hoping for the best. I don't really want to start with the West. There's a chance if we draw any untapped land, we can crack this map next turn, especially if we can draw one of the Tron lands we don't have. We can actually still get to turn 3 Tron. So the better odds are to start with the map, or the mine and the map. Alright, so they are black-red, yep, and there's Inquisition hitting our spatial contortion. Bobble, so they got to see our Soul Guide Lantern, and after seeing that, they decided to hit a spatial contortion. So instead of our map, I don't really want to play out the second map. Rather just get this Soul Guide out of my hands, hit their Bobble, because artifacts they're probably least common thing towards Delirium. Regavan, not too scary on turn 2, and a Thoughtseize, so they go and hit our Ugin here. Condescend's not too scary when not got that many lands. And Island's not ideal, so I do want to try to get Tron next turn. So I'm going to go and get the Tron land now so I can play the Tron lands, and I can play the map, and then next turn I can have Tron open. could have saved the mana, just play the islands, and try Condescend. They hit Talisman, that's fine. And then they actually play our Talisman. It's 2 of the colors and they can actually deal damage to him. This looks like it might be a Death Shadow deck, so Talisman's pretty good there. Alright, Croxa. I'm still at 18, so I would rather have the counterspell. I just discard the island here. Right, there's Ugin. I cannot cast it this turn, so just go and get up my other Tron land so I can play my land for the turn. Have more mana open for Condescend. And then with Croxa in the graveyard, I need to crack the Soul Guide land before I give him a chance to do priority on his turn. I mean, I could wait until upkeep, or it's better just to do it now. I'm going to do it. He's not going to do anything that's going to put more cards in his graveyard between now and the time he can cast Croxa, so just do it now. Yeah, the regular van attack gets him a tower that he can't cast. And he has a lot of mana open, and he passed turn. He didn't even bring Lois back, so that's kind of scary. I mean, he doesn't have anything in his graveyard right now, so maybe Lois just doesn't seem that great. It's scary, but I still want to get something proactive, so go and do this. Play with this Ugin, and actually resolves, so maybe he has Drown in the Welk, and I have only 6 cards in the graveyard, so Ugin gets resolved. Normally I don't play like hard counters, so that might just be it. And there may have been reason to minus to actually exile Regavan, because now he could. No, if he would have brought Lois back last turn, he could play Lois and then he could dash in Regavan from the graveyard, but for some reason he didn't bring Lois to hand. So don't have to fear that. Go and just deal 3 more damage. He's at 4 now, so pretty close to 2 more Ugin activations. Still not doing much. Expressive Iteration. Gets more lands. And Holy Heath. I only have 1 blue source, so I just going to put all my mana into this. And he has potentially 5 mana, so I gotta play for at least 5. But I just put all my mana into it at 7. And then it looks like he tries to Drown in the Welk. He realizes he can't because its converting mana cost is actually 8, and I only have 6 cards in graveyard. And he concedes. And we get game 1. On to game 2. Sideboarding. So remands are not great against this. They just play a bunch of cheap things that they replay. They have hand disruption, things that just get rid of it. It's just not as great as some of our other options against this deck, which is the 1 more Walking Ballista. Walking Ballista kills a lot of their smaller early creatures. It is a Loros deck, so I'm not afraid of the Regents. So things like EE also becomes really good because a lot of their deck is just 1-drops. So side in the extra EE, the extra Walking Ballista, and the extra Spatial Contortion just to deal with their early game spells, creatures. And thus I'm remanding. Terrible hands. Just not even keepable. Alright, good hand here. Not great though. It does have the turn. It does have spatial contortion to try to deal with their early Regavan or whatever they plan turn 1. They are Thoughtseize heavy deck. I'm not casting this Emrakul anytime soon. I'd rather just put it on bottom. And alright, there's a Chan there. There's a Tron land we already have. Starting off on the west, just so I can turn 2, do this Condensend. I do miss the opportunity for turn 3 Tron, but I don't have any payoffs for turn 3 Tron, so it's fair. Inquisition, again, spatial contortion, getting acquisitions. Gets attack in. I don't have my spatial contortion anymore for his turn 1 drop. Again, steering away from turn 3 Tron. Now I'm on like turn 5 Tron here. I mean, this Tron's not too big of a deal though, especially without a payoff. So, just the Saga's good. It's going to get me Tron. It's going to get me map, which can get Tron online. Alpine Moon. So, I start to counter here, but it's actually better. I'm going to let this Surveil trigger resolve. That way, if he wants to keep his card on top, and then I condescend it, make him have to pay 1. Right now, he is only mana as a Polluted Delta, so he'd have to crack that and shuffle. He does end up just surveilling it to graveyard anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then he also ends up not actually sacking the Delta, and then I get to surveil. I actually get Tron on top. Third plant's not really good here, so bottom the plant and then keep the mine on top. I have all 3 Tron pieces in my hands and no Tron pieces on the battlefield. So, 1 land per turn. I'll have Tron in 3 turns. Draw the Tron piece I knew I had coming. Play one of the Tron pieces he already knows about. Express Iteration. Gives him Delirium. Or the Alpine Moon gave him Delirium last turn. So he's got a 3/3 attacking in. Can make a token, but it doesn't actually block flying, so there's no point to do it now. He plays a Death Shadow, knowing that I have this Blast Zone in my hands. Go ahead and make this token now and end the turn, and then really tempted to just not actually search up anything with this Saga, because I know I'm in a Blast Zone, and because I have to float this mana and my land's going away, I know I have to Blast Zone now, but I still go it in. I just want to get rid of cards in his graveyard. So I get the Lantern, crack it right away to exile his graveyard, and then go ahead and use this Blast Zone, and then get to attacking for 1. Another Exploration, getting another Death Shadow, shocking into lands, and a 5/5 Death Shadow. And Thoughtseize, getting rid of my Condensend, so just Tron lands left on top deck mode. Pretty good top deck there. It's going to deal with this Death Shadow. No point to attack, he's got a bigger blocker. And he's got the Dress Down, so when it enters, he draws a card. I want to try to repeal this before he draws that card. I'm at 13, he's going to make his Death Shadow 13/13, and he's going to kill my constructs, so bounce that. He doesn't have the counterspell, which is good for me. Dress Down comes in and does kill my car instruct, draws a card, then replays Death Shadows at 13/13, Summoning Sick, and then plays Regavan. Alright, Dress Down goes away. I have Tron. One of the times Urza's not great in this deck. Don't have the double blue, so that's not a good draw. If I get the blue, I can activate Urza the turn I play him. Attacks in. Pretty close to lethal here. Doesn't have the second Dress Down, which is good. He only hits the island that I need for a Saga, for Urza. Which he's got a lot of land, so he could actually cast quite a few things from my library that he could have hit, so good that he just hit my land. Alright, so I go down to 2 life, he's at 4. Drawn to Karin. I don't know that there's anything here that can get me out of this. Play Karin. He taps mana for K command, realizes I set a blue open, decides to wait on the K command because I have to get something here, and then go ahead and just, the only thing that might be able to get me out of here is the Worm Coil, that lifelink blocker. I'm not going to do anything against Bolt or K command. And then yeah, now that I'm tapped out, he goes ahead and K's commands and deals 2 damage to me, makes me discard a card. I don't want to give him knowledge here, so concede. Game 3, no changes to sideboard. Rewind the play. Alright. Again, questionable hand. Seems not bad, especially against a Thoughtseize deck, Inquisition deck. I hate mulliganing against them. It's just such a bad feeling mulliganing down to 4 and then getting Thoughtseed. So this is not a bad hand. It's redundancy where I need it against Thoughtseize. Go ahead and just keep this. Turn 1 map. And they got the turn 1 Chandler, not as scary as turn 1 Regavan. Going, I want to get the Temple out, I don't want him to Inquisition away my Talisman. I kind of need the Talisman for the mana. Cruxa, that's fine. I have to double Karin anyway, so I can easily discard one of them to the Cruxa. Little 1/1. Chandler attacking. Alright, that's good too. I drew the tower, which is another reason I didn't want to crack the map right away, is I didn't know which Tron land to get. So, got lucky there. Drew the tower, now I know exactly which Tron land to get. He attacks in for 1. It's just 1 damage, like it's still fine to keep taking it. So he still doesn't do anything. Go ahead and just end of turn, repeal this Chandler. It's going to mess up his tempo because now he's either got to counter this. If it's Drown in the Well, he can't because I only have 1 card in graveyard and this is 2. If it's a better counter spell, if he uses it now, I have all this mana open for next turn. So, and then he's got to waste a turn playing it, misses maybe some triggers for Surveil, so I could draw a card here. He doesn't have an answer, and then I go and crack this map for the last piece of Tron. Alright, that's a lot of Tron lands. Again, I think his main counter is Drown, so only having 3 cards in graveyard, it should be good to start with his Karin. if I start with like the Ugin and he does have the hard counter, then next turn he can drown the card. So start that off, it actually resolves. Go ahead and just get, I don't have a lot of good targets here to get right now. Have only 5 mana open, so I just try to get the relic. I want to try to make sure this Croxa doesn't come back, or his Dragon Chandler get online, so play it. And he does actually have the, or he's going to crack first, but he does have the Drown in the Walk, or Drown in the Watch. Kind of surprised to use it on the relic, but I guess if I get to resolve the relic, his Drown doesn't actually get to counter any of my spells, so makes a little sense. And yeah, there's a bolt on the current. He doesn't get to live long. He didn't get too much. Alright, Rifts. Okay, he doesn't have anything to bounce, but gonna play at the tower and play out the Ugin. Still protected from being able to be drowned. Plus up, put him, make his Death Shadow bigger. Dashing in Regavan. And attacks at Ugin. So, I mean, at this point, he's paying 2 mana to attack the Ugin. Like, it's fine. I'm getting +2 counters per turn anyway. Like, I'm just not going to get to ult. He's 3 pluses away from dying, so yeah, that's fine. Death Shadow is a little less fine. Death Shadow is a little scary. In fact, I just go ahead and -1 here so I can exile the Death Shadow. It also prevents him from having that extra card for Croxa, so he's still 1 land and 1 card away. So 1 fetch land, and he's going to get a Croxa. But I mean, I'm still at 18. I can easily just discard this land, take the 3, and then minus Ugin and kills Croxa. So if that happens, it's not too bad. But he's still just dashing in a Regavan, which is pretty okay. And again, attacking the Ugin. So Ugin's getting a little low. Oh, he also bolted it. Yeah. Oh, wait, that was on the current. Yeah. Alright, Saga's good. This plus up on Ugin's going to put him down to 6. So by the time this Saga goes off, it's going to be able to get me a Walking Ballista. That's going to be lethal. It won't directly be able to get me the Walking Ballista, but I'll be able to get a map, which is going to get me Teleria West, which is going to get me Walking Ballista. Walking Ballista with extra steps. Okay, so there's the ball at Ugin, putting it down to 3. Again, all this damage going at Ugin and not me is just great. I'm still at 18 life, which is a lot of life against burn spells, so I mean, just gotta worry about the creature spells. Bobble, so he finally gets Delirium. And then Regavan. So this attack's actually going to put Ugin down to 1. Again with this Chandler, it seems worth it here to Rift. More so to, the Regavan's going to get bounced anyway in the turn, but to bounce the Chandler and to save Ugin 2 damage, just go and overload the Rift. Bring both of those back to his hand. And then instead of cycling for the map, I just draw the map. So go ahead and play, crack the map, get the west, transmute the west, gets to feel like I'm playing Titan again, get a walking ballista, deal 3 to him, and start to tap my mana for walking ballista, and yeah, it's going to be 5/5 walking ballista. He's at 3 life, tapped out. He concedes, and we get match 2, 2-1. Currently 2-0 now in this league, going on to match 3. Alright, we lost the die roll, so we'll be on the draw. This is a good hand. Turn 3 Tron, turn 3 Karin. Blue mana and Talisman means we could get blue mana turn 3 if we wanted to go that route instead of Karin, but EE and 1's the only thing to do with blue mana, so we're down to 5 cards. And there's our blue mana, so now we still don't have any blue spells for it though, but alright, they are on what's probably the, yep, that's that no oops all spells deck, at least what it's become now after the banning. So normally leading on turn 2 island's good, but without a blue remand or condensate or anything, Saga also doesn't seem great here. We really just want to get this Karin out. Against this deck, it normally goes with Charbelcher as its win con, so getting Karin out stops that win con. Desperate Ritual into Metamorphose, into Regrowth the Pass. That's gonna, because their deck's all spells, that's gonna just allow them to reorder their deck, which getting to just click this and skip through makes it go a lot faster because it takes a long time to rearrange 52 cards in your library. Alright, so that resolved. Reveal the Talisman, but it doesn't matter because I shuffle anyway. Alright, Trinisphere is even better against their deck, so go Karin, Trinisphere, kill their treasure token. Yeah, they can't win anymore. Charbelcher is the main thing. Trinisphere prevents him from actually getting any kind of ramp, and they concede. I don't really quite have a win con here, but they don't have a win con either. So I'll eventually get one. They won't. So all right, pretty easy game 1. Game 2 of the match. Siding out the Spatial Contortion, doesn't really play creatures or anything worth using it on. Sided out the Engineer Explosives. I can technically Engineer Explosives for 4, but it's not very likely. Not really worth keeping in Engineer Explosives. Put in the Trinispheres and the Pipe Needle, just because if I can get that turn 1 Pipe Needle, it's going to be better than Karin already stops his combo, so those are the sideboard decisions. This is a good hand here. 1 away from Tron, got the remands for his combo, the thirst to try to draw the last piece of Tron or some things to do. Okay, more lands isn't exactly ideal. Getting more lands is still not ideal, so at this point, the blue mana, because I do have the remand. Spellskite's tempting, but I think just saving that remand mana open might be better. Okay, don't really want to transfer. It might actually hurt me more than him. I will go in Thirst, and then out of these, I think Spellskite's the worst. If I knew I drew in the tower, the map would have been better to discard, but map would have got me Tron. Transfer is good against his deck, especially now that I have Tron, so maybe discarding 2 other lands, like the West and the Island, might have been better, because Spellskite is also, when he's trying to win by Charbelcher, Spellskite stalls a turn. Alright, so we got Expedition map first, and then Trinisphere. And then he's got the Nature Claim. Seems worth to remand here. It's going to slow him down, and then it's going to draw me another land. Not exactly good. Got enough lands already. Alright, he's got the Charbelcher, so I need something to deal with that. Card is about my only thing I can draw. Repeal, I mean, it stalls at a turn, so we're going to repeal it, draw the card. And I drew another land, so we've got a lot of lands here. Alright, he's got Charbelcher again. I do play Needle. I did side in the Needle. My Saga's not going to get there in time, though. Get the Blast Zone, that's not going to get there in time either. I don't know, it's not looking good, especially drawing more and more lands. Played out the Islands over any of these other things. I mean, saving the mana open for transmuting Chile West, but I don't have anything worth transmuting. Rift to bounce it to stall another turn, even though it doesn't actually stall a turn, because as long as he hits his land drop here, he has enough, he can just do it in 1 turn. And he Nature's Claims there. Ritual into Ritual, Charbelcher. Yeah, so a lot of lands. That's a lot of lands. Alright, game 3, we are on the play. No changes to sideboard. We're going to just run it back. This hand would be a lot better if I was on the draw. I would have my blue mana here with the caverns, but it's really risky. If I draw a blue mana, it's really good because I got the Condescend open, I got the Rift open, I got Thirst to draw into some more things. If I draw any color mana, I still got a turn 4 Karn, which might be a little slow, but turn 4 Karn on the play. Charbelcher deck can be pretty fast, but I mean, it seems like a keepable hand. Hopefully I get a blue mana or a 4th land. Lead with Tower. He leads with come and play tap land. Another Condescend, still not blue mana. Not exactly good here. Ritual is strike it rich, and he gets to stack his entire deck, so not good. He's gonna, I mean, again, this takes a while, as you can see from the clock timer moving there. He's got to put 51 cards back into his library in any order. Paying attention, you know, the first few matter, but after that you just kind of click. So there's my Tron land. I'll go and keep that on top from the clashing. Alright, play my Tron land, play my Karn, and then I put the transfer in. and I put the spell skite in, so I don't really have a lot of great answers here. Liquid Meta Coating, he's only got 5 cards, maybe I can try to hit him on some mana, so get the Liquid Meta Coating. I mean, Karn itself is stopping his Charbelcher win con, so I just gotta try to stop his alternate win con. Make sure I stop during his upkeep, hit his lands, cut him off some mana, and he does have the Nature's Claim, and that's actually all he has, so that's good. I draw Emrakul, I'm far away from that. Have 1 card type in my graveyard. I don't have any blue mana to play any of these blue spells. I just get a Wormcoil, something clock, put some pressure on him, and then pass. He does have Ascendancy, which is the alternate win con there. I don't know exactly what he Ascendancies into that would win him the game. I'm not that familiar with this deck. I just know the main thing is Charbelcher. My attack, gain not relevant in my life. And then I did get my blue, so that's good here. I now have mana open for interaction. Alright, so Manamorphose draws a card. It draws into the other Manamorphose, because he's already stacked this deck. He knows exactly what he's drawing into, so most likely it's 4 Manamorphoses in a row that he's going to be drawing into. So I let the first 2 resolve, and the third one here is going to put a counter on Ascendancy, which would put at 2 counters, so I'm going to just go ahead and rift the Ascendancy. He's going to have to recast it and then try to get 2 more counters on it, which means 1 more Manamorphose will not do that. He's going to have to play Manamorphose plus something else he's already played on top of recasting the Ascendancy, so this will definitely slow him down quite a bit, and having some counter magic open up helps as well. So there it is, he recasts Ascendancy, and ends turn. Drawn to actually another Tron land, which does put me on enough mana now between the rifts and that Tron land. I will be able to cast Emrakul this turn. So attack in for 6, put him down to 2 life, and then make sure he doesn't have some way of killing me and playing Emrakul. And then plussing up Karn, no target. Alright, so a lot of good things I can do here. Start off with Manamorphose, see what I draw into, see what he kept on top. Good thing is Ascendancy for some reason is a May ability, so I get to say no, I don't want to put a counter on it. And then, okay, so he put the recovery on top, so he'll be able to bring back something. So I don't know if that's the loop, is you Ascendancy, bring back Manamorphose, I don't know. So it's tempting here to try to recross. I do still have 17 minutes left. I know it's going to take me a while because I'm not familiar with this deck to make sure to do a recross. All I need to do is just make sure he doesn't draw into something that wins me the game. But I think this is good enough to make sure he doesn't win. Ascendancy with no counters on it. He has a card that he can play to stack his deck, but he's not going to get another draw, so it is enough. I do end up getting that match 2-1 against Charbelcher. Alright, on to match 4 of this league, currently 3-0. Win the die roll so we get to be on the play. Hands, questionable. It's got 1 Tron land, it does have repeal, it's got the EE. They are a Loras deck, so this repeal and this EE are both probably pretty good. Walking Ballista might be decent here too, so it's keepable. Start off with the Tron land. and they got to turn 1 Chandler. So we'll go ahead and play with this Walking Ballista, kill the Chandler now while we have the chance. Walking Ballista's probably not going to do much else. There's a Tomoglyph. Okay, not drawing any more Tron, not really drawing much. Some more islands. They got another Chandler. Glyph's not too big right now, just a 3/4. He's going to Lightning Bolt, which is going to make it actually a 4/5. So that does kind of push the repeal here. Just not now having the mana to replay it this turn, and it being bigger now, just more sensitive. So draw that card. There's a Death Shadow, which is really good into this EE. As much as I want to cast EE and pass, I do want to get one of these maps out so I can start getting my Tron lands. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Is just crack the EE now and then play the map. I really want to try to get to Tron so I can get this Karin and use it. Alright, there's the Tomoglyph back. Alright, there's one more piece of the Tron. Now all I gotta do is get the third piece. Glyph's pretty big there, 4/5. Brings Lois back to hands. A lot of things in his graveyard he can cast. Let's go and start with the Thirst. I got this map I can discard if I don't draw. I mean, there's the Tron land I needed, so I can discard this map. Definitely don't need it. Now I don't really need to get another Tron piece, so I think I just want to try to set up for the Mindsaver loop. So we're just going to get the Academy runes here. And then play out the Tron, play up Karin, and then he's going to try Lightning Bolt it. I do have the Condescend for that Lightning Bolt. Go and counter that, protect him, put both of those on bottom. I don't really want either of those. I already had both the Walking Ballista and the EE, so I don't have any non-land zeros to search for with West. At this point, I just want to shrink his Glyph and draw a card, so play out the Relic. I don't really want to discard or exile my graveyard, but I do want to get this Glyphless threatening. So, select a Relic, draw another lands, and he's got the Unholy Heat, which is going to kill Karin. Still not too bad. Tomoglyph's back down to only a 2/3. And then there's a Thoughtseize. He gets to see my wonderful hand of 4 lands. I draw a map, which is basically just another land. But this one's going to get the Saga, so I can start making some tokens. Attacks in for 4. I still got plenty of life. I can take quite a few hits from this Glyph. Plays out Lois, so doesn't have anything from his graveyard to utilize that ability. Transfer is good. It's going to slow him down a lot. Play at the runes. Go and play out this Transfer. Also, it's going to make my Saga a little bit bigger, which is going to prevent his Lois from attacking. He's not going to attack and trade with a token. Does attack with the Glyph. Again, I have life. I'll just take it down to 8. You get only 1 spell a turn anyway, so. And there's 1 spell as an Inquisition to again see how amazing my terrible hand is. Pretty sure he already knew all those cards anyway. Alright, make my 2/2 construct. Go and make another construct, and then get this Soul Guide to try to make his Glyph a little smaller. I have enough lands. I could have hit one of my own cards, especially this Saga, but I kind of want to keep that in my graveyard. Alright, he attacks with the Glyph. Go ahead and double block here with both constructs. Their total power of 8. If he's got some kind of removal for them, I got the counter magic open. He does have Battle Rage, and I do have the Condensation for the Battle Rage. So counter unless he pays some amount 3. He can't pay the 3, and he concedes. We get game 1. Game 2, we won, so we are on the draw. Sided out 2 of the remands, put in 1 more EE, and put in the other spatial contortion. Remands not too great against lowest decks. Alright, hands, just terrible. One of my lands is Saga, which means it's going to go away after a few turns. And only other one of the lands, so I'm mulliganing that. This is a good hand. I mean, it's not great, but again, against a Thoughtseize deck, just don't want to mulligan too low. So go and put the Ballista on bottom, and sure enough, he starts off with the Inquisition, hits my repeal. Saga's not a bad draw. Not the Urza land I really wanted, but turn 2, he's got nothing. It's kind of scary. Go and play out the Saga. Map's good. I can get another Tron piece. Maybe actually get Tron online with the Saga. Getting another map, getting another Tron piece. And then he's got the Ancient Grudge. Gets to hit my Talisman, hit my lands. Thoughtseize again, hit my Karn. Alpine Moon to hit a lands. So he's just, and Ancient Grudge to hit the map. So he's just destroying everything. These 1-for-1s, Thoughtseize. Got 1 2-for-1. Alpine Moon to kill one of my lands. Like I'm down to 1 card now. And then there's his threats. So bunch of removal and the threat. EE, I don't have islands, or I could EE on 2 with the Talisman for green. And Spatial Contortion's actually not great against Glyph. I could play Engineer Explosives on 1, but it's not really worth it to kill the Alpine Moon. He already brought Lois back, and I actually only played 2 Saga, so there's only 1 left. So Alpine Moon on Saga is not too bad. Inquisitions takes away my Engineer Explosive, and then brings Lois to hand. Gonna put Blast Zone up to 2. Maybe I can kill his Glyphs. Not that impactful because you can just recast it with Lois, but draw a 4-drop, which is, what I needed. Attacks in for 6. He knows about, so there's another Inquisition. I just don't get to play spells. It's got so much interaction and a Glyph for a clock. And then finally get my lands, finally get my blue to play Karn, but he's got Leith on board. Karn, there's nothing that I can get that's going to stop that. So he got game 2 with 1, 2, 3, 4 hand hate spells that each one hit something pretty good and relevant, and an Ancient Grudge, which got to hit 2 of my mana as well. So Game 3. On the play this time, no changes to sideboard. I really don't want to mulligan down too low against him, so this is fine. Still only one Tron land, but does have the turn 2 Talisman or the turn 2 Condescend on the play. Condescend is a lot better on the play. Lead with the Tron lands. Gets to look at my top card, and shocker, he has an Inquisition. He gets to get my Condescend. Alright, draw another Islands. Play out Talisman, so might not be too bad. I might still get a turn 3 Urza, or turn 3 Talisman, or turn 3 Thirst for Knowledge, but he gets Thoughtseize. He hits the Thirst for Knowledge, which of course means it's got another Thoughtseize for the Urza. So yeah, again, just completely destroying my hand with his hand disruption. Draw into Talaya West. Not really anything I can Talaya West for right now. I could try to get one of the Tron pieces. Could maybe try to get a Saga. And there's the big Glyph and the big Death Shadow. Alright, Death Shadow's not that big, but alright, Condescend. It's a little late. Would have liked that for the Death Shadow. Going to transmute the West here for the Engineer Explosives. I have the lands, I could do it on 2, or I could try 1. Tax in for 12, putting me down, or tax in for 11. Putting me down to 9. Bring the slowest back to hand. So I can play at the map, sack the map to get Saga to hopefully make a blocker, and then play Engineer Explosives on 1. Still not looking great for me. He's got Loris in hand, so when I do kill the Shadow, you can just recast it. Alpine Moon, I've gotta flip the mana first, because this Saga's gonna die if he does name Saga with the Alpine Moon, which he does, so my land dies. And then now I can sack the E, blow up the Alpine Moon, which actually does make the Saga makes the Alpine Moon bigger as well. There's the bolts and the attack in for 6. So yeah, again, just so much hand disruption and 0 Trinispheres. Leaves me losing that match to 4-color Loros. Currently 3-1 going into the last round of this league. We lost the die roll, so they will be on the play. Terrible hand again, like just 3 Thirst for Knowledges, no blue, a land that's going to go away. Yeah, just overall really bad hand. This hand's also pretty bad, but it's a little bit better. This is probably one of the only matchups where Trinisphere is going to be bad with their commander, meaning Trinisphere doesn't do anything against this deck. So yeah, Trinisphere on bottom. Repeal's probably also going to be bad. Like this kind of sounds like the only thing that might be good from this hand. So okay, another Tron piece. Not exactly bad. Don't exactly know what this deck is. Some colorless lands. Going to play an island for this Condescend. and just some more attacking for 2. And beside you, who shelters all is not good news for his kind of send plan. Transfer just doesn't seem good playing against this deck. Don't know what it is, but transfer does not seem good. In the turn, going Thirst for Knowledge. And then I don't get why I'm tapped out. He plays an uncounterable spell. I don't know. I guess might as well. But deals 9 cards into another Calibrated Blast. Deals 3 damage to me. Yeah, discard Transfer. It's not going to be good in this match. Play another lands. Saving counter magic open is not really going to mean much with this besides your Shelter's Arrow, so I just want to play out this Urza, exile the card with Flashback. Not that I think he's going to get 7 mana anytime soon, but alright, plays this Blast, and yeah, reveals a 12 drop, 12 cost, deals 12 damage to me. Not a lot I can do against an uncounterable instant that deals 12 damage. So, pretty quick game. Alright, so sideboarding's difficult. I don't really have much against that deck, and I have a lot that I don't really want against that deck. Spatial Contortions aren't good, Trinispheres aren't good, Ancient Explosives aren't good, Walking Blisters aren't great. Counter Magic can be good as long as it doesn't have the Beside You Shelters All. So that's yeah, a lot of things to take out. And then as far as putting in, I didn't really have much to put in. Put in Pine Needle. Just wanted more creatures that could attack, so put in the Wormcoil Engine. And not really a great sideboard plan against this. Alright, so there's that sideboard Pine Needle I put in. I didn't really want to draw it. It was more of a thing I could get with Saga, but it's not a bad hand. It's turn 3 Tron. They do get Gemstone Mine, which is not good. Alright, Bliss is not really good either. It doesn't really do a whole lot. I don't know what the Pine Needle. So go and just not worry about it. Save my mana for the crack in the map. Go and do that. Get a Tron piece. And then I'm guessing just to avoid the Force of Negation, he waits until my upkeep, goes ahead and reveals 3 cards. It hits me for 15 with the Emrakul. Down to 5 now. Play my Tron lands. Play my Wormcoil. Again, don't really know what to Pine Needle. I could just play it just to have it. Could play it naming the Rempenant Ruins. Like, I don't know. Again, waits until my upkeep. And then he has another blast. Like, I don't know how consistent this deck is. It seems like you just mulligan until you find blast and then hit them for 15 and then he just happened to have the second blast, or you hope to blast into blast and then hit him for 3 and hope they've taken another 2. Like, I don't know. This deck seems really powerful in these 2 games, but it also just seems really like these were 2 really lucky games. And I don't know. I don't know if it's normally that lucky, but he hits blast into. I think it just froze on me, but he hits it into another 12 drop. Dragon, whatever. And ends up killing me. So, yeah, it finished this league 3-2. I don't know that this last deck was really a good showcase for this blue deck, Tron. I almost want to see more of that just to see if it is as consistent as it did both games against me here, or if it's just one of those inconsistent decks that sometimes will just, have that hand that you can't interact with, and other times it just does nothing. I don't know. Anyway, that's it for this league. Finished 3-2. Not too bad. Beat the popular decks. Lost to this whatever this is, and then just a 4-color hand disruption deck. So all in all, not too bad. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember, subscribe, like, thumbs up, leave any comments, and see you in the next video.